Welcome to the Beauty and Business Breakdown with Becca Healey. I'm Becca. I'm an entrepreneur, permanent makeup artist, and owner of Forever Brows and Beauty Studio. My studio is located in Cincinnati, Ohio, and my channel is where I come to talk to other beauty professionals, entrepreneurs, and people who inspire me. We're going to be covering different topics every episode and leaving you with inspiration, insight, and business tips. Please like, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Forever Brows and Beauty Studio. Now let's jump right in. Hi, Priscilla.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. I'm adding a cute filter here.
Yeah, I got the Sheila one on.
I love it. How are you? Thank you so much for inviting me to do this live. I'm so excited.
Oh, of course. I'm so happy to have you. So
Yay.
how are things,
how are things
in Florida? How's the weather there?
The weather is beautiful. It's starting to warm up, so we're going to be working against some humidity soon. But the weather is nice. I mean, I feel like people in Florida are acting like there's no COVID anywhere. So
yeah, I think it's like that this whole time, right? Like people in Florida are known
they're
for
just
that.
like whatever. Yeah. How about where you are? How's the weather there?
I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio, and it was 71 degrees when I got off of work on Tuesday. And
nice.
At 10 o'clock that night, we had like an inch and a half of snow.
No way.
Yeah, so we had like a 40-degree swing that day. And then it's been cold. It's been cold ever since. So the snow melted, but it's been rainy.
My God.
It's been in the 30s. Yeah,
that's insane. Wow.
I'm very jealous of you being in Florida.
Yeah, Florida is nice. It's nice. In the summer, we suffer a little bit because it's very hot, very humid. But it's at least we got the cool breeze from the beach.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah,
so,
it's cool.
Yeah, so let's talk about you. Tell our audience who you are and what you do.
Of course. So I am Priscilla, and I am a permanent makeup artist. I am located in Boca Raton, Florida. I've been working on permanent makeup for about 4 years. I originally started working as a occupational therapist. I've graduated as an occupational therapist. I kind of set that down. And when I started with microblading, I used to do both. So I was part-time OT and then part-time microblading. And then after the pandemic, I just decided to throw in the towel and just do strictly microblading. I've been doing that for probably over a year. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's exciting. I'm also a mom. I've been married to my husband it's going to be 15 years now. And so I kind of have to juggle everything, running a business, trying to, be a mom, be a wife, and, run a household. So it's a lot. We do a lot as women.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have children, but that sounds like a lot to juggle.
It's intense.
Yeah.
But it's worth it. It's all good.
So that kind of brings us into our topic of how do you balance staying fit and healthy as a beauty boss? And you have a family, you have a husband and children and your business. So how do you stay fit in that process?
Yeah. So I always try to remind myself of 3 things. I actually put a little thing together, so I'm going to be like reading some of the things just that I put together that makes it easier for me to remember to say everything that I wanted to say. So it's always like making sure that you put yourself, and as women we tend to put other people before us, so making sure that we put ourselves first and that we're taken care of, because if we're not taken care of, we can't take care of anybody else. So knowing that we matter, knowing that we are loved, and also knowing that everything's going to be okay. A lot of times as women, we take so much on, and it's so easy for you to kind of stress yourself out And at the end of the day, things all fall into place and things will always work out. So making sure to keep that in mind, I think it's very important. For me, what I do to make sure that I can keep, a healthy lifestyle despite, having so much on my plate, is planning. Like planning is everything. I always start usually the week. Let's say if it's on a Sunday, I plan for the week, and I always plan the night before. I usually on the weekends, I'll do my grocery shopping to make sure that I have the groceries that I'll need in order to, make my meals and to have healthy snacks around. I think that's very important. I also tend to plan the night before. Like if I know I'm going to go to the gym in the morning, I already set out my protein shake and I leave that ready. I set out my clothes, like making things be more intentional. I think that's very, very important. And creating a to-do list, because I think there's actually nothing more satisfying than you crossing things off a to-do list. Like, at least for me, like as soon as I see like everything's crossed off, I'm like, oh my God, I did it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And being intentional with what you're going to do. I think when you know that you have a goal in mind and you set your intentions to actually complete those goals, you tend to be more successful at it. At the end of the day, you tend to be a little better about what you're going to do and how you're going to carry that out. And I think that's very important. So like setting your standards and making sure that you plan things ahead of time. I think planning is key to everything in order for you to kind of be successful, especially even staying healthy, but yeah, that's one of the things that I like to do. Another thing that I enjoy doing too is sometimes I call it like win your morning. And I've read a lot about this, and it's about you getting like you starting your day on the right foot. A lot of times I'll set my alarm 30 minutes before my actual wake up time. So that way I have a time for myself. I have a time to, meditate. I have a time to pray or to have like my moment, because a lot of times after that alarm goes off, you know what I mean? If I don't wake up a little bit earlier, I feel like I'm constantly trying to play catch up. And to me, that makes me extremely stressful. So if my morning doesn't start off like more calmly, that really stresses me out. And then another tip that I have about that is to never hit snooze. I don't know if you've ever read the book Miracle Morning.
No.
Have you never read it? You should read it. It's awesome. It's by Hal Elrod. And he talks about like how you should never hit snooze. And one of the quotes that he says is, snoozing your morning is like you're snoozing through life. Can you imagine? And it's kind of interesting because you're like, okay, I hit snooze, it's just that 30-minute, but that could also set up your day to keep pushing things forward, just pushing things off another 10-15 minutes. So setting, maybe if your alarm clock is on your phone, just like keeping it far away from your bed so it forces you to get up instead of you hitting snooze. I'm usually up at 5 a.m, so it's really easy for me to be like, I don't want to be up, like I'm gonna hit snooze. So that's one of the things that I found that has been like really helpful for me too. But yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So do you put working out on your to-do list, or is that separate? Like, is that something that you check off your list for the day?
So usually working out is not on my to-do list because I go to Orange Theory most of the time, so I have to register for my class. And in order to register for my class, if I don't show up, I pay. So it's kind of like one of those things that like, okay, I register for it. I'm not just going to hand Orange Theory my money, you know what I mean? Plus what I pay for them monthly. So it forces me to go, so, but I try to make a plan to at least get some sort of exercise 5 times a week. And the thing is with exercise, you have to find something that you enjoy, because if it's something that you're not going to enjoy, chances are you're going to quit. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, if it's dancing, if it's Zumba, if it's, going on a bike ride, it really, as long as you're moving your body, I think that's what's important, And I've done a lot of like different trainings that I felt so miserable doing it, and I hated every single second of it. And I remember that it never lasted very long. You know what I mean? Like I would do it for a few months and then I'd quit. Like I didn't want to be there anymore. So you have to really find something that motivates you. I think that's one of the biggest things. And then also having like an accountability buddy, having somebody that can go with you, you know, like a friend, or even if they don't want to go with you, at least people that you can kind of check in with, maybe doing challenges together with some of your friends or coworkers. I think that that helps quite a bit, you know. So I think that's what's helped me along the way.
That's awesome. So what's your favorite types of workouts that you do?
So I prefer like high intensity workout. I have a lot of energy, so I cannot sit still. I have to be like constantly moving. Like if you tell me to go do yoga or Pilates, I literally will die in a yoga or Pilates class because I cannot sit still. Like I sit there and I just start thinking about all the things I need to do. You know, I can't disconnect. Like I have a really hard time disconnecting. So when I actually do something that's like pushes me to my limit, I'm like so focused on like doing that intense workout that it really helps me kind of thrive a little better when it comes to workout. How about you? What do you prefer?
That's awesome. I really love dance. So dance is like a big passion of mine. So I do these classes. It's called Dance Fix. It's a local like dance group, and it's high intensity, but it's really, really awesome. Like we do all different types of dances, and it's more intense than Zumba, I would say.
Yeah. And it's fun, right? So it makes you want to go. You know what I mean?
Like
the more you go, like it doesn't feel like a workout. Obviously you're working out and you're burning calories, but it doesn't feel, it's something that you actually enjoy doing.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it. And I was doing Burn Boot Camp for a while.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah, and I have a membership. I'm on pause right now just because I've been back into dance, and because they had to have like only outdoor classes for a while. So with COVID, so they for dance class. So now we have indoor classes, but they're like you have to be spread out, and there's only like 12 people allowed in each class.
Okay.
So and it's the same thing as you with Orange Theory. Like you have to register ahead of time. And if you don't show up, you get charged for the class. So it definitely helps me stay on track with going.
Yeah, it keeps you committed, right?
Yeah.
I remember like a few days ago, like I didn't set my alarm and I missed the class and I was so mad. I was like, oh my God, Orange Theory is taking my $12. That's 2 Starbucks. I remember being so annoyed.
Yeah, that's so funny. Like that's a great way to think about it too. It's like that could have been your treat for 2 days in a row.
Exactly. It will drive me crazy.
Yeah, the other thing I really love to do is to run.
Yes.
I just started getting back into it, so and the weather isn't helping right now because we had the snow. So I haven't been able to really run a lot this week, but yeah, that's something that helps me keep my mind like occupied. Sometimes I'll listen to podcasts, but mostly I just listen to music when I'm running.
And do you prefer to work out in the morning or at evenings? Do you have a preference?
I prefer mornings, but with the dance classes, they're kind of like mornings or evenings. So sometimes I don't get to really choose. I'll just go to the evening classes. But when I was really getting into Burn Boot Camp, I was working out at like 5 or 6 a.m. I was going to those classes.
Yeah.
So I think once I get back into shape a little bit more, I'll probably go back to Burn and try having like Burn and dance and doing both.
Yeah, doing both of them. Yeah. It's a good mix of the both because with Burn workouts, you do a lot of lifting too, right?
Yeah, it's like lifting, high intensity training, circuit training. And that class definitely keeps you occupied. Like your mind is just focused on
everything that you have to follow.
Yeah, and the next thing that's coming and counting. So, and I like Orange Theory. I've only been to a few classes, but I can't really run on the treadmill with I have like plantar fasciitis, or I used to have it.
That's so painful.
So yeah, I can't run on the treadmill because it'll trigger that.
Yeah, no, stay away from the running for sure.
Yeah, I'm fine on the street, but I can't do the treadmill. So
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you kind of mentioned it, but what would you do for eating? Like, I know you said you're meal prepping, you're buying all the stuff, healthy snacks, and having everything ready for the week. So what do you do on days when you're fully booked with clients? Like, do you have stuff that you're on, or
yeah,
what do you do?
so usually like I follow, I mean, I don't, everybody does different things, and you have to find a meal plan or some sort of lifestyle that works for you. For me, what's worked for me is I usually count my macros. So I count my macronutrients, and I'll input that into an app that's called MyFitnessPal. So in order to kind of my macros, I have to eat a certain amount of carbs, a certain amount of fats throughout the day. So I usually will pack my lunch to work. And if I don't pack my lunch, I'm not successful at all, because the chances is that I'm going to go out and grab something, and I'll grab the quickest thing that I could find, something that I can eat quick, you know what I mean? Versus really making like better choices. So packing my lunch and planning ahead is like my best thing. So I prefer to kind of meal prep either for the week or for a few days. And sometimes I'll even have a few meals in the freezer so I can just kind of pull it out, put it in my lunchbox, and bring it to work. Usually when I'm numbing my clients, they're sitting here for about 25 minutes numbing. So I'll make sure I get them numbed in, and that time is when I usually will go and eat my lunch. So that really helps. I think meal prepping is probably the best thing that you could do, because it'll really kind of guide you. Sorry. Will kind of guide you and help you like be successful. Another thing that I always have in my purse, I always have in my lunchbox, is some sort of a snack. Because if I'm in a pinch and my clients overlap and I can't eat like my actual lunch, like I'll at least have like a bar in my bag. I have something that I can just kind of eat until it holds me off till the next thing, my next meal. You know what I mean? So I always keep like snacks like at an easy access. Like for me, that is the best thing that I could do, is like really keep it in a way that it's easy for me to reach for and get it. But when I usually get ready for my day, the night before I'll actually know what I'm taking for work. So that's when I'll input all my information into MyFitnessPal, and whatever I bring to work, I have to eat in that day. So like if it's there, I have to eat it. And if I have food with me, the chances of me eating crap around the studio is not gonna happen. You know what I mean? So that's how like I stay very like that's what helps me like really stay consistent. And finding like a lifestyle or a diet or a meal plan that works for you. I mean, for me, it might be the macros, but I have friends who, you know, swear by keto, like a keto diet, you know what I mean? And whatever it is, just planning with that diet or that meal plan that you're going to follow, you know what I mean? Having a plan. Like the keys to success is planning, because if you don't plan, you're going to fail. If you don't have meals prepped when you're hungry, you're going to eat whatever comes in front of you. At least I'm like that. You know what I mean? I could care less what kind of calories it is. Like, I'm just hungry.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, I fall into that, like, I fall into that habit of not eating, like skipping meals, just because I'm busy and I just didn't prep anything. And
exactly.
It's my own fault. So I just, and a lot of times I would rather just not eat versus going to get like Starbucks or something.
Exactly.
So exactly. Fast.
Yeah, and we never have time. Like if you have a day where you're booked with clients, you're not going to have time. Like maybe when you're numbing between one client and the next, so you won't have time to go out and grab something to eat. And the worst thing you could do for your body is actually go a full day without eating, because then when you finally eat, your body's going to hold all those calories instead of burning the calories, because it doesn't know when you're going to feed it again. You know what I mean? So if you're constantly fueling your body, your metabolism is going to speed up, and everything's going to work way better when you do, when you do continuously eat and prepare for that throughout the day. So I think that really helps.
Yeah. So are you
Mhm.
kind of in, this might be a personal question, but are you
Mhm.
kind of in a maintenance type status for your weight, or are you trying to lose? Are you trying, what is your goal right now?
So right now, my goal is to basically maintain what I'm doing. I don't have. I mean, if I lose weight, I won't mind. I won't be mad about it. But right now, I'm just trying to kind of like maintain what I was at. With quarantine, it was crazy because during quarantine, like when things really was bad last year, and I was home, I like decided to like cook. Like I just kept cooking all these recipes I can find on Pinterest, and I went out of control. You know what I mean? And I gained like 15 pounds. It was insane. So I got back on track and kind of been able to lose that. But to me, it's more about like how I look and feel versus what the scale tells me, because I'm the type of person that I can train 5 times a week and follow a diet and not lose a single pound, but then I also feel it in my clothes. So I'm trying to, and it's hard to stay away from the scale because um, I've been so used to stepping on the scale on the daily basis that for me, it's hard for me to not weigh myself. And even though I feel a difference in my body, sometimes if I see the scale go up, I'll be like, this isn't working. And then I'll just stuff my face with some chocolate or something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
I try not to weigh myself. Sometimes like I'll only weigh myself like once a week or once every 2 weeks. Like I really have tried to avoid it because it's so easy for you to not be motivated, you know, even though you see a big difference. You know, you see a difference because you're probably more toned, or you know what I mean, you see your clothes are looser, but it's so easy to get unmotivated when the scale doesn't move, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's really like frustrating.
Yeah, I try
Yeah,
to
but right
keep,
now
I
if
try to
I
limit
just
myself. I try to limit myself to
you
weighing in like once a week.
yeah. Yeah, you have to. You have to. Unless like if you're doing something more specific, like years ago, I haven't competed in a long time, but I competed in a fitness competition. So I had to, like I was bound to that scale and my fat percentage and things like that. So and I had a plan, so I needed to see if it was working and where it was going. So at that point, like that was very important to me. And even when I was done competing, it was hard for me to step away and like, you know, because it plays a game with your mind. You know, you become bound to that. So it was hard for me to like step away and be like, wait, like that doesn't matter as much at this point in my life. You know what I mean? So it really took a lot of me like working on myself and accepting the fact that my weight was not going to be as low as it was when I used to compete, and just knowing that, you know, it was okay to be heavier on the scale, but still I felt so much better about myself, you know.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
yeah, no,
So
it's
what,
definitely,
sorry.
you're fine.
So what's your favorite healthy snack that you like to make or take to work with you?
So I always have a protein shake. I like to buy the PE Science. I always have like a protein bar. There's one that's called raw protein bar. And then there's one that's very good too. It's called one bar, the one bar. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's really good.
Yeah.
They have like a chocolate chip one. It's like delicious.
I'm gonna
So
write that.
I'll usually have that, and I'll usually like bring fruit. So I'll have apple or a fruit that's easy to snack on.
Hmm.
So usually
Okay,
stuff
cool.
like that.
Where where do you get the one bars at?
Sometimes I'll go to Trader Joe's, but even Publix will carry it.
Okay,
Amazon
we
too.
don't have
You can
that
buy
here.
like a whole case. Yeah, or you can buy like a whole case of it on Amazon. I think Amazon
Oh,
sells
okay.
like the cases where you can get multiple with you. You know what I mean? But the one bar is delicious. It's so good.
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
love it.
try them.
You should. I think you'll like it. I
Yeah,
think you'll really like it.
I've always stuck with the bars called Think Thin.
Oh, I heard of those. I've never tried it.
Yeah, they're really good. It's just like I only liked one of the flavors, and it's like chocolate peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of got burned out on them after a few years,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah,
stopped buying
when you
them.
have it so much, yeah. The good
Yeah.
thing with with the fact that I follow follow macros, I have like a super sweet tooth. So sometimes like I'll add my treats into my macros before I even add anything else. So I make sure that I like, oh, okay, I can have a piece of chocolate at night before I go to bed, or I can have a glass of wine before I go to bed. So I add all the things that I actually enjoy, and it doesn't make it feel like you're miserable on a diet, you know?
Yeah,
So
that's
I
great.
find it super helpful.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, you kind of touched on this earlier, but what advice would you give to somebody who's struggling to get fit or to get healthy?
I think you have to do what works for you and not be so restrictive. I think whenever you restrict yourself, at some point you're going to break. You know what I mean? So start with finding some things that you actually enjoy doing. You know, you might not go to the gym and lift, but like you do your dance classes, and maybe you enjoy dancing, and just do that. That's already a form of movement. You know, getting other people involved, like, you know, especially with family. You know, if you have a spouse that would like to join you, or, you know, like your kid. My son is 5, so during the pandemic I would go into my garage and I would start like jumping up and down and doing jump ropes and stuff, and he would join me. So it was fun. You know, it was something like fun to have him do. So finding something that you actually enjoy, and giving yourself a break once in a while, especially with diet. So easy for you to be so strict. Choose one day out of the week that you can eat something that you enjoy. You know what I mean? Like, you having one meal or one treat that you like is not gonna destroy your diet. You know what I mean? So I think just being less restrictive will definitely help you be more successful. I think that's like the number one thing that helps a lot.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. So let me see what else, other questions I had for you. Was there anything that we didn't touch on that you wanted to mention?
I just wanted to talk about some like apps that really help me kind of stay focused and help me kind of be fit or stay healthy.
Yeah.
I talked about the MyFitnessPal, which is actually the app that I input all my information in there, and it helps me kind of keep track. It almost creates like a food diary for me. Also, I use the Beachbody on Demand sometimes for home workouts, or there's an app that's also called Sweat. So those are 2 apps that you can sign up for, and then you can do like home workouts whenever you don't have time to go to a gym, or if, you know, you're on lockdown. I know there's a lot of places that are still on lockdown or will be going into lockdown soon. So, or people are thinking that we'll go into lockdown. So those are a few things that you can do from home. And a lot of times you don't even need any equipment. You're doing stuff with your own body weight. And then also I have an Apple Watch, and I use it all the time. Like, just being able to close those 3 rings. Exactly. I forgot mine at home, but you know, but closing those 3 rings to me is like so satisfying. Like, at the end of the night, I was like, oh my God, I don't know, like I need to burn like 100 calories to close my rings. And I'll start like doing something just to like close the rings. And when I actually do that at the end of the day, I feel it's so satisfying to me. You know what I mean? So that motivates me, and keeping track of stuff, because I know with the Apple Watch, there's like a lot of features that you can use in there too. So I find that super helpful. So those are just some of the things that I have on my phone that kind of help me stay on track too.
That's amazing. Yes.
Yeah.
I use MyFitnessPal too.
Yeah, it's awesome, right?
Yeah, I haven't been using it lately to track my meals, but I've been using it to track my weight.
Yeah, no, and that's the cool thing about it, is that you can track not only the meals but your weight. Like, there's so much that you can do with it. It's really cool.
Yeah, and I love, like, when I lose a pound or I lose any weight, it gives you like it's like excited for you. Like, it gives you like confetti. It's like,
exactly,
you know, celebrating. I love that. It's just so
exactly.
exciting.
Yeah, no, it's definitely awesome. There's a lot of resources out there. You know what I mean? Especially, I think once COVID happened, so many things went, you know, transitioned to being online, that I think it's a lot easier for you to stay on track, for you to find something that works for you, you know? So I think it's definitely, so many coaches are training via lives, so many nutritionists, and, you know, so many things that you can do just via the internet, that you don't really have to be committed to a specific gym, you know, or be in a specific location.
Yeah, that's a great point for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
So, how can people work with you if they want to stay in contact with you?
So I actually on my Instagram, I have if you go a link tree link that will on the bottom says let's connect, and then on there they can put their email, and I actually have like a PDF file of everything that I talked about. So if they want to drop their email on there, I can actually send all this stuff to them so they have something to go by.
That's amazing.
Yeah, of course.
So, for people that are just listening, maybe not looking at it yet, what's your Instagram handle so they can?
So my Instagram handle is at Pri Biro Birro beauty. So it's my first three letters of my name, my last name, and beauty.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it was such a pleasure having you today, Priscilla.
Thank you. It was great being here. I really appreciate it.
Yes, and I will be putting this up on YouTube so people can rewatch it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yay. Let me know so I'll repost it.
I will. It'll be in the next like 2 weeks because I have a couple other videos in the queue ahead of yours.
Yeah. Of course. No problem. Yeah. Whenever you put it on there, I'd love to share it.
Awesome. And I hope you will join me again sometime so we can.
I sure will. Yes, of course. I sure will. It'll be a pleasure.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thanks. You too.
All right. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate the support. Please like, subscribe, share, and follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Forever Brows and Beauty Studio. And please join us again next time for new guests, new stories, and new inspiration. Thanks so much.